Camilla didn't just take Diana's husband, she took Diana's script. And the script doesn't change its ending for the second reader. 2 portraits side by side, 40 years apart. Same institution, same rooms, same verdicts, arriving in the same order. That's this video, a mirror ledger of 15 pairings, every half dated, every half checkable tonight. 9 have already happened to Camilla, 6 are still in motion. Exactly 1 would ever need a signature. And the precedent for that signature was set against Diana in the Gazette in 1996. And the twist, the whole file turns on. A sentence Diana spoke on television in 1995 about her own marriage now describes Camilla's reign. Word for word, roles reversed. You'll know the pairing when it lands. Let's open the file. Number 1, 1981 and 2005. The cathedral and the register office. Start with the 2 weddings, because everything else follows their shape. On the 29th of July, 1981, Diana Spencer married the Prince of Wales at St. Paul's Cathedral before an estimated 750 million people. Balcony, carriage, a nation on the street. On the 9th of April, 2005, Camilla Parker Bowles married the same man in a civil ceremony at Windsor Guildhall, followed by a service of prayer and dedication at St. George's Chapel. The Queen did not attend the civil ceremony. 24 years apart, the same groom, 2 entirely different messages about what the institution would celebrate. One woman got the cathedral, the other got a register office and a blessing. Diana walked that aisle at 20, the 25-foot train. London packed 10 deep. The institution spent everything it had announcing her. 24 years later, it spent almost nothing announcing her replacement, and the Queen herself declined to watch the vows. The 2 weddings are the first pairing in this file because they set the exchange rate for everything after. What the institution celebrated in Diana, it merely tolerated in Camilla. And on that same day, Camilla was handed a title she has never once used. Number 2, April 9th, 2005. The title she owned and could not say out loud. The moment that civil ceremony concluded, Camilla legally became Princess of Wales, automatically. No instrument required, no announcement needed. It simply happened in law. She has never used it. She was styled Duchess of Cornwall instead for 18 years, and the reason given was Diana. The country would not accept hearing that title on another woman. Understand the shape of that. A title she held in law from her wedding day was unusable because of the country's memory of a woman 8 years dead. Diana lost her style by paper in 1996. Camilla lost hers by feeling in 2005. Different mechanism, identical result, and only one of them had a document behind it. And from now on, every time you hear someone call Catherine the Princess of Wales, you'll hear the 18 years Camilla held that title in law and never once dared to say it out loud. You won't unhear it. Then in 2022, the title moved again, and it did not move to her. Number 3, September 9th, 2022, Catherine takes the title in one day. The day after Elizabeth II died, Catherine became Princess of Wales. No transition period, no waiting for public sentiment, no 18-year pause. It was announced, and it was hers. Think about that for 1 second. Camilla waited 18 years and never once used it. Catherine received it inside 24 hours and used it the same week. That is not a scheduling detail. It is a verdict about who the institution thought could carry the name, and it was delivered in public without a word of explanation. This is the first place the mirror really bites, because the position Camilla occupied for 2 decades, the woman standing next to the heir while a more popular figure held the country's affection, was Diana's position first, lived from the other side. Camilla spent the 90s as the shadow over Diana's marriage. She now spends her reign as the shadow under Diana's memory, and the position she watches from the outside belongs to Diana's daughter-in-law. And there is a phrase from 1995 that describes it exactly. Number 4, November 20th, 1995. 3 of us in this marriage. On the 20th of November, 1995, Diana told the country there were 3 people in her marriage, and everyone in Britain knew who the third was. 30 years later, invert it. Every state occasion Camilla attends, every portrait, every anniversary, arrives with a comparison attached. The third person in her marriage now is a woman who has been dead since 1997 and cannot be answered or negotiated with. Diana, at least, had a living rival she could name. Camilla's rival is a memory. And memories don't age, don't make mistakes, and never give an interview that goes badly. That is the harder version of the same sentence, and Camilla has been living inside it since the day she married him. Diana said the line once, on camera in a black blazer, and it cost her what remained of her marriage. Camilla lives the line every single day and cannot even say it out loud because the third person in her marriage is on a statue, on a birth certificate, on a sapphire ring photographed every week on Catherine's hand. Diana spoke the sentence. Camilla inherited it. I want to get to Exhibit 10, where the patronages start moving, because Diana lived that one first and it is happening again right now. But first, 5 through 9. And Exhibit 7 is the one almost nobody has put together. Number 5, February 10th, 2005. The promise that was made and withdrawn. When the engagement was announced on the 10th of February 2005, Clarence House stated that on Charles's accession, Camilla would be known as Princess Consort, not Queen. That was the arrangement the public was offered in exchange for accepting the marriage. It held for 17 years and was then set aside. Hold the mirror up. In 1996, an instrument changed what Diana would be called. She had no say. In 2022, a message changed what Camilla would be called. She had no say either. Both women had their public identity rewritten from above, without consultation, and announced to the country as settled. Diana found out how little her say counted when the divorce terms reached her through lawyers. Camilla found out how little hers counted when a Jubilee message she did not write settled her future in one paragraph. The only difference is that one rewrite took something and the other gave it. Now pick that 2022 message up and weigh it, because Exhibit 6 is about what it is actually made of. Number 6, February 5th, 2022. One paragraph. Decides who she is. On the 5th of February 2022, Elizabeth II issued a message stating her sincere wish that Camilla be known as Queen Consort. One paragraph from a 95-year-old woman, 7 months before her death, and the entire arrangement of 2005 was replaced. Notice what that means about the foundation under Camilla. Her position does not rest on statute. It rests on a wish, expressed by a woman who is now gone, endorsed by a husband who will one day be gone too. Diana's HRH rested on an instrument, and an instrument removed it in a single afternoon. Camilla's title rests on something considerably lighter than an instrument. Let me say that again. Diana's title needed the Great Seal to remove. Camilla's title never needed the Great Seal to exist. That is Exhibit 6, and it is the quiet center of this entire video. Number 7, 6th of May 2023, crowned by usage, not by document. And honestly, this next one stops me every time I read the file because almost nobody has assembled it. In April 2023, the coronation invitation went out, and it carried 2 words, Queen Camilla. Not Queen Consort. The word had already fallen away on a card before the crown ever touched her head. By the service on the 6th of May, it was simply how official material read. Not by proclamation, not by any sealed instrument, by usage settling into the record. That is the whole legal basis of the name she carries today. Compare it directly with 1996, when a sealed, gazetted instrument was required to change Diana's style. One woman's identity needed the Great Seal to alter. The other woman's identity arrived through habit. And what arrives through habit can leave through habit, quietly, with no document to point at and no moment anyone can protest. That is not a stronger position than Diana's, it is a weaker one. We're halfway. 7 pairings in, everyone dated, and the file only gets heavier from here. Because the first half was about titles, and the second half is about everything else. Diana lived her side of this mirror in public, with the cameras running. Camilla is living hers right now in front of you. Number 8, September 19th, 2022. The procession order nobody chose. Watch the footage of Elizabeth's funeral on the 19th of September, 2022, and look at where everyone walks. Behind the coffin, the Blood family walked. Charles and Anne in the front rank, in an order set by protocol, not preference. Camilla rode in a car, not as an insult, as arithmetic. Processions in this family are built from the line of succession and the blood order, and a consort's place in them is assigned, never negotiated. Diana learned the same lesson in reverse in 1997, when the world watched her sons walk behind her coffin in positions nobody in that family had wanted to arrange. Think about what those 2 processions prove together. In this institution, the biggest occasions are the ones where nobody gets to choose where they stand. The order is decided by blood and by crown. And on every future state occasion, that arithmetic favors Diana's bloodline and assigns Camilla her place. She will stand exactly where the protocol puts her. She always has. Number 9, July 1st, 2021. A statue and what it means to be permanent. On the 1st of July, 2021, William and Harry unveiled a statue of their mother in the sunken garden at Kensington Palace. Bronze, commissioned by her sons for her 60th birthday. So ask the obvious question, where is Camilla's? The answer is the exhibit. There is no equivalent for Camilla, and there is no plan for one, because memorials of that kind are raised by the people who come after, and the people who come after are Diana's children. Titles can be granted and removed. Homes can be reassigned. Bronze in a royal garden, unveiled by the next king, is a different order of thing. Diana lost her style in 1996 and gained something in 2021 that no instrument can touch. Bronze does not poll. Bronze does not need a press office. Bronze stands in a garden her sons chose, on ground the next king controls, and every tourist who queues to see it casts a vote no survey will ever record. That asymmetry is permanent, and it grows every year. Exhibits 10 through 14 are the forward ledger. I really want to get to Exhibit 14, the reversal with a dated published precedent behind it, the one with a Gazette page you can pull up tonight. But first, 10 through 13, because this is where the title's second half lands. From here, every year takes something back, and the first one is already underway. Number 10, July 1996, the patronages and where they go next. In July 1996, as the divorce was finalized, Diana resigned from around 100 patronages and kept 6. One announcement. A public life assembled over 15 years, reduced to 6 names in a single statement. In the very same summer, the letters patent about her style were being drafted. The charities she built her identity on were quietly redistributed. It was the clearest sign the institution had moved on from her. Now look at the direction of travel today. Patronage lists are published. Charity annual reports name their patrons. Anyone can track which organizations sit with which member of the family and watch how that changes across a decade. The pattern that took Diana's public role apart is a documented, checkable process, and it does not require anybody to make an announcement. It happens one annual report at a time. Diana lived the fast version. The whole list gone in one announcement. The charities she built her identity on reassigned while she watched. The slow version is quieter, and it points in one direction. That is what the second half of this title means. Not an afternoon, a subscription that cancels itself one renewal at a time. Number 11, the homes. What is held and what is only occupied. Exhibit 11 is the difference between owning and occupying. Royal residences sit with the Crown Estate and the 2 duchies, and the person occupying a house is rarely the person holding it. Diana learned that distinction in 1996 when the marriage ended and her arrangements changed with it. Her apartment at Kensington stayed hers by agreement, not by deed. She lived out her last year inside the exact gap this exhibit is about, the space between occupying a royal address and holding one. It's a matter of record which properties sit in which portfolio, and that portfolios move with the crown, not the person. Anyone who occupies rather than owns is occupying at the discretion of whoever comes next. That is not a prediction about anybody's behavior. That's how the estates are structured, and it's been that way for centuries. Almost there. 4 exhibits left, and they are the reason this file exists. Because what's coming is why Diana's side of the mirror can never be erased, and why Camilla's side never stops moving. Number 12. The jewels. Collection pieces are not personal property. The royal collection is held in trust by the sovereign for the nation. It's not a private wardrobe, and it isn't inherited by consorts. Pieces are worn on loan and they return. This is Exhibit 12 because it dissolves the most common misunderstanding in this story. Nothing worn from the collection was ever transferred to anyone, which means nothing has to be taken back, only not lent again. There is no instrument required, no announcement, no confrontation. A piece simply does not appear at the next state occasion and the next one, and eventually a decade has passed. That is how this particular removal works, and it is completely silent. And there is a Diana precedent here too, because the most famous jewels in this story were never the collections. The sapphire engagement ring was Diana's own, and it sits today on Catherine's hand. The one piece that passed by love rather than loan. Everything Camilla wears from the vault goes back to the vault. The one jewel the public actually remembers went to Diana's daughter-in-law and is never coming back. Number 13, the precedence order. It reorders itself automatically. The order of precedence is published, and it rearranges the moment the crown moves. The day William becomes king, Catherine becomes queen, and the woman at the head of the female order is no longer there. Nobody signs anything. Nobody is persuaded. It is arithmetic applied by succession in the same hour. This is the fastest item in the file. Every other change takes days, months, or years. This one takes no time at all because it requires no decision. It simply follows from who is wearing the crown, and that is the one thing in this story with a certain outcome. Diana felt this arithmetic from the losing side in 1996 when the order of precedence was adjusted around her divorce, and she discovered that a table could demote her without a single person having to say it to her face. The table did it. The table will do it again. It only ever needed the crown to move. Number 14, the style. The reversal that has a precedent waiting. Exhibit 14 is the one with a document behind it. On the 21st of August, 1996, Letters Patent declared that a divorced wife of a British prince would no longer hold the style Royal Highness, and a week later, Diana stopped being Her Royal Highness. The instrument is in the London Gazette. You can read it tonight. It established in living memory that a royal style can be removed from a woman inside this family by paper, in a week, with no vote and no court. Whatever anyone says about how unthinkable such a thing would be, the precedent is not hypothetical. It exists, it is dated, and it was aimed at the mother of the man who holds the pen next. Number 15, the year it finishes. Last exhibit, and it's the honest one. There is no date on any of this. Anyone who gives you one is inventing it. Charles is alive, Camilla is queen, and none of this runs on a published schedule. But the direction is not in question, because none of these items require a decision by a person who dislikes her. The precedence order reorders itself. The collection pieces are simply not lent again. The patronages migrate one annual report at a time. The homes follow the estates. Only the style needs a signature, and the precedent for that signature was set against Diana in 1996. Published, gazetted, and never repealed. That is what the title means. Not one dramatic afternoon. a slow, documented, entirely ordinary process in which every year from here takes something back, and the woman it happens to spent 20 years watching it happen to somebody else. 15 exhibits, 1 mirror, a cathedral against a register office, a promise made in 2005 and withdrawn in 2022, a name resting on habit rather than an instrument, and a bronze statue in a garden that no paperwork can touch. Diana lost her style in a week by paper, with 1 signature. What is happening now is slower, quieter, and needs no signature at all. The style is only 1 line on a much longer ledger of homes, jewels, patronages, and precedents, and every line moves by the same silent arithmetic. 20 powers Charles has already handed William erase Camilla's entire future. If you want to see all 20, that video is right here.